and gentlemen, we went over the rules earlier tonight. I expect you to obey these rules. Let's have a nice, clean fight. Touch gloves. Good luck to the both of you.
Referee Arthur Mercanti. 33-year pro, the bell in round one. The champion Wilder in the gold and black trunks. The challenger Stiverne, the former champ in black. And by the way, referee Arthur Mercanti wearing a black armband to honor the people who lost their lives in the terror attack on the West Side Highway bike path here in New York last Tuesday.
No, it's a superb punch. You know, we talk about Stiverne being very inactive, which we've outlined. This is the longest layoff for Wilder in his career, 9 months. So he's getting back in the ring after a long period off.
In the opening minute, just one punch was thrown by the challenger Stiverne.
And Wilder has thrown about 16 jabs out of his 18 punches that he's thrown.
I think Berman's really just taking his time, trying to close that gap. Doesn't want to take too many chances. Yeah, you know, I was thinking the same thing. I was actually talking to one of the guys on his, one of his friends or one of his guys on his team or whatnot earlier tonight, and they said he's actually better at the weight he's at now, and I'll find out tonight. I said, okay. I was like, you know, I was just curious about that. Oh, it raised a red flag. So we'll see if he's able to put up the work rate tonight.
Stiff jab by Wilder now. Thus far, Stiverne hasn't shown the work rate. He's in it, and Stiverne goes down in round one with that laser right hand from Wilder.
7, 8, 9. Okay? No, he didn't. Walk towards me.
18 of Wilder's 37 knockouts have occurred here in the round. First round, and Stiverne down for the second time.
6, 7. Look at me. Look at me. Turn around. Okay? Where are you?
Wilder's right hand is Thor's hammer, and here in round one, he is Ragnarocking Stiverne.
He's out. He's out cold. I don't know if he's going to be able to get up.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Statement. That is a statement.
Rematch, Al.
Well, Stiverne came out doing virtually nothing offensively, and that is the classic Deontay Wilder 1-2 combination.
Who's Wilder's trainer? Mark Breazeale.
And also have a champion. Now we look at the second knockdown. Again, the same combination, but it was a left hook that started the problems here, and a right that bounced off the head of Stiverne. Stiverne looked like he was going to get through the round with only a few seconds left, and here's Wilder juking and jiving and coming with the right hand. Now, ironically, that
was the shot that hurt somewhere here.
This is the one, the left hand that really created a problem.
Right hand comes up the middle as well. He's already out. He's already out before he hits the ground here. So you credit to Arthur Mercanti, man, because those are two big guys. He's got to get in the middle of those guys.
And actually, it was very good that he got in there right away, so no more punches could land against Stiverne, and obviously he's out at that point.
He is the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the bronze bomber, Deontay Wilder.
Okay, boxers, we went over the instructions earlier. As a reminder, obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Touch gloves. Good luck.
Stiverne being the first person to go the distance with Wilder. Wilder obliterated him in the rematch, and Wilder told us that he is going to treat Breazeale exactly the same way as he lands the 1-2 combination. Wilder has 19 first-round KOs. Ooh, going to the body with that left hand.
And rarely does Wilder go down there.
Former welterweight champion Mark Breazeale told me he wants him to go to the body and then double punch, Paulie. Go to the body with the right and then the right uppercut on the inside.
Breazeale is a guy who takes a good headshot, and he's been a stubborn guy. We saw it in the Joshua fight.
Well, you know, he's shaking his head. He's getting hit with right.
Showing the firepower of Wilder. That punch landed on top of the head, not even on the chin or anywhere on the face.
Stop! Don't hit him behind the head. Watch the hitting behind the head.
To Breazeale for having the character to throw with him.
This whole fight at long range in this first round, and this was kind of inevitable because of that, and we got another look at how it was set up.
He fought at long range without using the snapping jab to protect himself and close the gap.
We'll get one more look.
And what did the legendary trainer Emmanuel Stewart say? Knockout sell, Al.
Yeah, and that's what Deontay Wilder did here.
Undefeated WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder.
You men receive my instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands. Protect yourselves at all times.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's going to start off with the jab and show us some of his boxing ability and some stuff that he's been learning.
Michael Griffin is the referee. Might look familiar. He had Ruiz Joshua 1. You see two large men in there, 6'7", 6'6.5". Long and rangy.
He's going to finally find a sweet spot and slow down like that right there. It's not always going to be throwing off the move right here.
Psychologically, he's got to get himself back in the ring a little bit too, right?
Yeah, I think you do that with the process of a training camp, and if you have a great training camp, you can expel those demons. And
wide right hand over the top. You can see the experience of Helenius in there, taking a good long look at Deontay Wilder as he shoves him back after the exchange.
Push up, Robert.
You know, to me, Deontay's warming up. He's moving around, getting used to the ring.
Right hand. Yep. Kind of wide there by Helenius, but just looking to touch his opponent. Right hand, and down he goes.
There it is. Good
Deontay Wilder is back.
That's what I said. Don't get hit by that right hand.
Wow, wow, wow. It's over. Doctors rushing into the ring.
Yo, yo, yo!
Deontay Wilder is back. Here it is again, so clean, so powerful.
And you know what? That was almost like the Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston chop right hand. It wasn't even a step-in right hand. No. But it goes to show you the power he's got in his
And that's
fist.
a rugged guy. He is 6'6", 253, and he is starched in one shot. This was no phantom punch, that's for sure.
And let me tell you, it's not all about the big punch all the time. It's about the short punch.
Yeah, you're right.
So the short punch is very effective, just like the big punch.
He is the winner by way of spectacular knockout, the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder.
Brian Kenny with Virgil Hunter and Danny Garcia. Virgil, we were talking if there's any shot for Arreola, we would figure it would be early.
So he's grown through the weight classes, so he does have the ability to box. We haven't seen it much because he's been the dominant fighter in the ring, size-wise and punch-wise. Tonight, that's not the case.
Undefeated heavyweight titleist, an exciting heavyweight, which is kind of new. It's been a few years.
It's a great division.
There's the right hand. Mark Breland told me a few hours ago.
Mark Breazeale, one of our greatest amateurs in history and also a world champion, knows boxing and knows how important it is with Deontay to stay patient because, again, Chris Arreola can punch.
But this is a slow-paced fight, and I think this, favors Arreola. This is the pace he wants. He doesn't want to be in a fight to push him, to make him dig deep.
the check hook, but Arreola is showing him a different look this round. He's coming forward a little bit more.
Wilder still has the space, though. Again, if he can get in the pocket, you could be sleep time. I mean, he throws a hard right hand from a long distance with a ton of leverage. There it is. That's a strong right hand.
Right down the pipe. And Deontay is athletic enough to offset his experience. So far, it's still kind of touch and go right now.
Arreola gets Wilder back to the ropes. Wilder fires out a right hand and another, but Arreola moves his head.
You know, try to get him late.
No, you're right. And look, you got to do only what you can do, as Arreola now tries to work it. And we see, look, Wilder didn't even drill him with a hard right hand, and yet he was opened up.
Wilder needs to be careful right there and not play with Chris Arreola.
Chopping right hand and then a hook from Wilder. And then he steps in. That's a hard right hand. He had his shoulders and his back behind that.
But just the idea that it's moving him like that gives you an idea of the kind of power that Wilder possesses.
Sometimes you can still catch the punch,
yes,
and still feel it.
Yes, sir.
With Eric Morales.
Yeah, for Eric Morales. You know, he had a few weeks to think about it, but I think he made the right decision. You know, why fight somebody who's cheating? You know,
look, Wilder says, "I insist on." Now he's
dancing.
Got Arreola to a dance, and now fires off an uppercut. Wilder in every fight now insists on VADA testing, and that's the type of testing that actually catches the athlete that is cheating.
Exactly, that's a blood and urine test.
Jack was warning Wilder about holding Chris's head down, then bringing the uppercut. But Arreola again is getting more and more to the body.
Chris trying to land that overhand right.
And barely missing. He's working his way into, not into the fight so far.
Hard right hand, and down goes Arreola. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only a few seconds left, but a hard right hand by Wilder, and Arreola is hurt. Back with another hook. Arreola barely survives the 4th round.
I would just go right out and just wrap him up.
And there's a sharp jab coming out right away from Wilder, and a hook here in the opening seconds of round 5.
Good body shot.
Chris is not in good shape. He's stationary now. He can't move out of the way. His head is right there for Wilder to touch.
That was a shorter right hand, Virgil, that time. That really stunned Arreola in that last round.
It was. And I've said earlier, Wilder is much more dangerous with his short right hand than he is with his long range because he's able to get the follow through.
We're live here in Birmingham, Alabama. Deontay Wilder, 36-0, 35 wins by knockout, and getting better and better with each fight. He wants Anthony Joshua. He's calling out everybody. And Danny, I think it's honest. I know it's tough to, it's easy to say, oh, look, I want this guy, I want this guy. I think he legitimately would fight any heavyweight in the world and try to prove that he is the best. Vladimir Klitschko, he said, well, I took a lot of bathroom breaks. Yeah. Look, that was a tough fight to watch. This is not a tough fight to watch.
Nice body shot by Arreola. Now, whether Deontay is allowing this or Chris is getting back into the fight, time to tell. But Chris has to move his head.
Uppercut by Wilder. And Arreola getting pushed around. Over 12,000 here at the Legacy Arena to see this. You're live on Fox. And Wilder working over Chris Arreola.
Get off his head, Deontay. Get off his head.
You know, if he stays at that distance, that's no man's land, right?
Considering when Arreola got knocked down at the end of that round, at the end of round, I believe, round 4, he's had a pretty good 2 rounds since then. You know, he hasn't been hurt again. He's not winning the rounds, but...
Exactly. Wilder tried to sneak a big shot in on Chris again because on the outside when he jabs, Chris will hesitate for a second to regroup and Wilder will strike out of nowhere. Right there, see how Arreola's just standing there lackadaisical, and that's when he strikes. He was a little far away that time, so Wilder didn't make the move.
Arreola taking right hands a little better his last couple rounds.
We're through 6. Mark Breland
You can see he's listening to Breazeale and he's learning from Breazeale's experience as a top amateur and a top pro.
Arreola still moving forward, trying to listen to his corner and get Wilder into the ropes. Angel, I'm kidding. Nice little hook there by Wilder, doing his work. And you can see, Virgil, they're trying to keep Deontay focused as well. Hey, you're winning every round. Stay focused.
But again, you have the heavyweight title, you cannot afford to play away like that.
Yeah, he's keeping his head up in the air, making noises.
I think Arreola just got him mad. There he goes.
Good right hand. And again, hook right after the right hand. Beautifully done. You can't mess around.
So I'd like to see Deontay keep it busy. Tonight, that short right hand.
Hard shot again. As we end the round.
You still have to save him from his competitiveness, his toughness, and save him from himself. He already said he was willing to die in here. And he's showing that toughness and competitiveness. Dish out to take this kind of punishment. And I kind of believe Deontay really doesn't want to hurt Chris. He wants to get him out of there, but he even mentioned the body is not meant to take this.
And Deontay absolutely does. I mean, he told us that when we were speaking to him yesterday, saying, look, you know, I want to put a guy out. I never want to see a guy hurt. But you got to hurt people to get this win. And he is now the blood trickles out more and starts pouring. A nice tight jab from Wilder.
Chris is not looking good right now. He's very disoriented from those jabs. Those jabs are really doing the job, snapping his head back. For our viewers, it's a whiplash effect. It nauseates you, it disorients you, and he's showing all the effects of that. His legs are just stumbling everywhere. And I would stop the fight if I was Jack Reese. It's not my call.
You think now there's a nice three-punch combination. Jack Reese takes a closer look. Wilder, and then to the body. Chris Arreola's face now all busted up.
I like how Deontay circles off the ropes. He doesn't lay on the ropes too long. Goes to his right or his left.
I mean, he has such distance. He steps away and you think he's out of range. Then he pops a jab right off his head.
Right there, he got on the ropes. He landed the left hook. Step to his left.
Loads up with the hook. And that's why it is so interesting that, again, with Tyson Fury, who's 6'9", Vladimir Klitschko, 6'6" or 6'7". This guy's 6'7". He brings height into the ring, too. So all those advantages through the years that the Klitschko's had, negated.
Height and real power.
Fires a hook off Arreola in the final seconds of round 8. Arreola is in bad shape. We're live here in Birmingham, Alabama. He's done.
Good call.
Henry Ramirez says, I want this to end, and the fight is over.
Very great call from Henry Martinez to show compassion for Chris. He has all my respect.
That was a good stoppage. You live to fight another day.
Yes, great compassion for
Chris Arreola had seen enough. Busted up by Deontay Wilder.
Heavyweight champion of the world, the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder.
Okay, gentlemen, we're scheduled about 12 rounds for the heavyweight championship. We're going over the rules in the dressing room. I expect you to obey my commands at all times. Most of all, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
But will Deontay Wilder get closer to what he hopes will be heavyweight unification? We're underway. Ortiz seems to be very relaxed in there. And he's trying to step on the foot of Wilder. Big straight left hand that connects there. Almost, it was partially. And jab comes in. An exchange, and Wilder backs up. Round 1 in the books. Now Wilder is moving around the ring. That was a trip by Luis Ortiz, and now Wilder goes back on the offensive, and Ortiz retaliates with a straight left. Wilder thought he had Ortiz hurt, but Ortiz quickly answered that. And also Wilder has had some issues when it comes to dealing with southpaws, especially a southpaw that has the background. A big right hand there by Deontay Wilder. Coming upstairs, Wilder's trying to time Ortiz. And a big straight left hand there by Ortiz. stretch of the fight for Luis Ortiz on Wilder. Under a minute left here in the fourth. If you're Wilder, you want to stay away from the ropes. Wilder needs to find, and he connected with that straight right hand, and I wonder if that plays in his mind a little bit, because he landed it pretty clean, and Ortiz took it well. And this is the tempo and the pace in which Ortiz wants to fight. Coming in forward, right, what a shot there by Ortiz. And now the corner of Ortiz is telling him, let your hands go. Big straight right hand by Wilder. But Wilder going on the offensive. Ortiz answers back. So much on the line. The heavyweight championship of the world. A big straight right hand. It wobbles Ortiz. And down goes Luis Ortiz for the first time in the fight. Recovering. Let's take a look at the replay. Here is the knockdown. It was that straight right hand followed by another one. Two right hands. And look at Wilder. The emotion. It's almost like he said, I finally got him. Look at it. Boom, right there, right on the nose. And then Wilder sees that he's hurt, that he's uneasy, and then boom! There is the right hand. Crashing to the canvas was Luis Ortiz. And look at the daughter of Luis Ortiz. She can step inside with the jab is Ortiz. That is why Wilder is one of the most dangerous power punchers, if not the most powerful puncher. A big right hand, it wobbled Ortiz, and Ortiz now is just fighting up pure guts, but now he's trying to throw a straight left. It looked like Ortiz was hurt, but he may have been off balance. Another straight right hand, and another two right hands from the heavyweight champion of the world, Deontay Wilder. And making his seventh successful, or trying to make his seventh title defense here tonight. A left hook to the body by Wilder. A left hook there, and another left hook by Wilder, followed by a right hand. And he lands that jab. It's been working for him in spurts for the 38-year-old out of Cuba. We're seeing more arm punches out of Luis Ortiz. I don't know if that is a sign that he's tired. Straight right hand that found its mark for Wilder. Straight right hand down the middle, another one. They both land. Oh, and Ortiz, I think he has Wilder hurt. Wilder may be hurt. And now Ortiz on the offensive. And Wilder trying to tie up. 30 seconds left in the seventh. Wilder looks hurt. His eyes are running big right now by Ortiz. Ortiz trying to finish off Deontay Wilder. Wilder is hurt. He's trying to hold on. Can he do so for 15 seconds? Ortiz has Wilder hurt. And Wilder still upright. Ortiz trying to do everything to bring an end to the night to Wilder. A big straight left. Dave Fields down. Wilder almost. That's the end of the seventh. Wilder almost down, a big straight left by Ortiz. And Ortiz a big straight left again. Dave Fields watching the action. Another one. A jab to the body followed by a big straight left. A right hook by Ortiz. Wilder going backwards. Ortiz is trying to make history and become the first Cuban to win the heavyweight championship of the world. But back comes Wilder. Wilder throwing as well. 55 seconds have elapsed from straight left by Ortiz. Another one. Wilder backing up. He's shaking his head as to say, no, I'm okay. He may be uneasy. All right, a left hook. Does Ortiz have enough left to close out Deontay Wilder? What a straight left that connects by Luis Ortiz. They both, Wilder, trying to keep Ortiz off of him. A big straight left, backing up Wilder. Big money fights and paydays down the line if Wilder's able to get past Ortiz. But the same can be said about Ortiz.
At your feet.
A straight left to the abdomen of Ortiz, or by Ortiz to Wilder. But if you're Wilder, he's got to establish the jab. He hasn't been doing so. Big straight left by Luis Ortiz. And back comes Ortiz. And Wilder, his punch output has lessened. A big right hand, and it hurt Ortiz! And now Wilder is going on the attack again! Ortiz is coming forward. And a big right hand. They both win. And now Ortiz seems hurt! Ortiz seems hurt! He's holding on! And they go down to the canvas. And no, that is a slip! But Ortiz looked over at his corner. And now Wilder is going back on the offensive. Wilder looking to close out Luis Ortiz. A big right hook by Wilder. Followed by a left hook by Wilder. Wilder trying to close out Luis Ortiz. Wilder has Ortiz hurt. Midway through the 10th round. A big shot. Down goes Ortiz. He has 70 seconds to finish off Ortiz. Can Ortiz hang on? A big right hand shakes Ortiz. Down he goes. Looks. Dave Fields there. No uppercut. This one is over. He is the baddest man on the planet for a reason. This is the first knockdown. You see Wilder steps in. Boom. That right hand followed by the left hook. And then another right hand. Look at the barrage of punches. And Ortiz immediately. And he looked over at his corner at that moment. He went down, and here is another one of the knockdowns as Wilder steps inside. This is the first knockdown still. And Wilder, boom, that's what started it. Ortiz was hurt, the left hook, and then Wilder sent him down to the canvas with that right hook on the temple. And this is again, and look at that, boom, right there. You cannot stand up to that. And the left hook on the ear, and then go into the canvas with his knees was Luis Ortiz. Here's the second knockdown as Wilder measuring Ortiz. Boom! That right hand, it staggered Ortiz. Another right hand by Wilder. Those downward motion, big right hand, sledgehammer right hands. The uppercut, that's what crumpled over Ortiz, and referee Dave Fields had seen enough. His knockout percentage will no doubt go up, but my goodness, this is the second knockdown once again. That big right hand, and look at Wilder, sees that Ortiz is hurt, coming down again, and look at this. He just saw and sensed blood in the water, and he attacked. But look at this uppercut. You are gonna watch the uppercut right here. Boom! Nearly separated the head from the shoulders of Luis Ortiz. At that point, Dave Fields had no choice but to wave it off.
The undefeated WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder.